preparation, his understanding of our defense, and more importantly, understanding of offenses. So just the nuances of the game, and so you put all that knowledge with the work ethic and the talent, you get a great player.
Talking about Joe, the film doesn't make a lot of mistakes at all. How tough is it to prepare a guy that doesn't get rattled? He rarely makes a mistake. His completion percentage is almost at 80%.
Yeah, you just do the best you can. I mean, it's just kind of, you get to this stage, that's what last year we played Alabama, and I think Tua's completion percentage, or his yards per completion was higher, his yards per attempt was higher. It was kind of, he was a freak, and Tua's one of the best players I've ever seen, and that's, when you get to this stage, that's just what you're going to see. When you get to the Super Bowl, you're going to see two elite quarterbacks. So it's hard. It's not easy. So you just, you've got to tighten up in everything that you do, and you have to understand that every play matters. The game. If you look at our game a couple weeks ago, there's just maybe 3 plays, maybe 3 that we made, maybe 3 that they didn't make. Whatever. It's usually what these games come down to, especially when you got 2 great competitors, 2 elite quarterbacks leading the show like we got and what they got in Joe Burrow.
Receivers, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, when he needs a big play, he can just slip it off to him. What did you see in those guys that just scares you on tape?
Well, they're special. I mean, they look like our guys. That's what I just said over here. You could put them in Clemson helmets and put our guys in LSU helmets, and nobody miss a beat. We might be a little taller, but just elite playmakers, and that's. And Joe would be Joe's incredible, but he's got greatness around him too. Trevor Lawrence is incredible. He's got greatness around him, built from the inside. Great offensive lines, great skill, and so those guys make plays. I mean, he trusts them. A lot of back shoulder throws, a lot of high point balls. He's not afraid on scrambles to put it up. But they're schematically they do a good job of creating mismatches, and then it's yards after the catch. These guys can run with it. They can break tackles. They can make people miss. But they're all on the same page. They just have a really good chemistry, and so it's a challenge.
Dabo, how special would it be if Clemson could add its name to the list of teams that have won back-to-back national championships?
Well, I think it'd be special. I think it'd be a list of 1 to back-to-back national championships in the playoff era. I don't think anybody's done that. So I don't know. I know we hadn't had the playoff era long, but it'd be a list of 1. So it'd be pretty special.
Dabo, obviously, you look at the Auburn tape, they were able to hold you 23 or less. Anything on the Auburn tape that caught your eye?
Them big dudes up front.
They got some big dudes up
that
front.
disrupted everything. Those guys did a great job, man. We're built a little differently right now than Auburn, but we're similar in some ways too. And they did do a great job. But I think it was his name Brown, Derek Brown. Those guys, they really were disruptive up front. Did a great job, and then they picked their spots. You can't just sit there and play zone or just sit there and play man. I thought they were smart and creative and mixing things up and just trying to throw them different pitches. I mean, listen, you're playing from a baseball analogy, you're playing one of the best hitters ever. And if you're just throwing a fastball, I don't care if you're throwing it at 110, he's going to hit it. And he's going to hit it a long way. So, you better be a little more Greg Maddux. Work the plate a little bit. Better have some different pitches. Keep them off base just enough. Probably still going to hit it, but maybe it's not a grand slam.
Well, LSU got 500 yards. They only got 23 points.
Yeah, there you go. They held them down. 500.
Yeah. Coach, does this feel like a road game to you?
Yes, no question. Yeah, it's definitely a road game.
What has Travis Etienne meant to this program? What he's been able to do for this offense this season?
Oh, he's been amazing for our program. He's got about every record in the book, and those who follow Clemson know. He's done it on very limited touches. There's been lots of games where he's had 8, 9, 10 touches because of the nature of the game, and yet he's got 100-something yards. He's got about all the records in the ACC, touchdowns and all that. So he's a special young person, beautiful family from right here in Jennings, and just a blue collar, hard worker, humble superstar, and doesn't even know it. man. He just goes about his business. He loves to play. He loves to practice. He doesn't have a smidge of prima donna in him. He's a grinder, and he sets a great example and sets the tone for everybody else. And because he doesn't carry himself as a superstar type guy. I mean, he just goes about his business, and he's a great teammate, excellent student, and just been a joy to watch transform over the last 3 seasons.
He said the other day he wanted to really redeem himself from his performance 2 years ago here in the Superdome in his hometown. Have you gotten that sense from him that he's really looking forward just to being in this venue?
Yes, he's excited. He's definitely excited. I mean, this is really cool for him to have this opportunity to come back and play here, and to play LSU for the national championship. I mean, you can't even dream it up, for a guy like Travis. It's pretty cool.